Welcome back to the 2018 Canadian Indoor Singles Championships. I'm Jake Shuknik, and our live stream game in front of you right now is Betty Van Wallingham from Manitoba versus Emma Boyd from BC. Hopping into the third end of the first set here. Emma Boyd has a quick 3-1 lead over Betty. Emma's using blue bowls with Betty using red ones. After 8 games played, Emma is 6-2 and Betty is 4-4. So Emma's looking to win this game to try to punch her ticket through to the gold medal match, potentially. And Betty, if she wins this, is in a bit of a dogfight to try to squeak into a bronze medal game. Not sure if it's mathematically possible for her to do that. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter, at BCB Bowls on Twitter and at BCB Official on Facebook. So that was 2 for Emma to make it 5-1. As Emma was commentating with me during the last game, she was telling me that she quite enjoys playing T to T or longer jacks, so no surprise here that she's stretching it out quite long.
Oh, well, he took off right away. He was in a big hurry.
And I think that's a bit of a whoops on that one, coming up a little bit narrow and short.
Still in the running, David? A lot of things have to happen right.
Big thanks to our partners and sponsors, the Government of Canada through Sport Canada, the Coaching Association of Canada, and Kukri, our official clothing supplier. Couple of very loose opening bowls here. One thing that I've noticed right away is that Betty's bowls are very wide. And it looks like Emma's are as well. I think both of them realize that we've gone live here, as the first few ends they were having pretty tight heads, and not that pressed go on the camera. Fairly loose head here shaping up. Rink next door, Josephine Lee's up 8-4 over Linda Ng. And just to sort of clarify, tomorrow we have the last round-robin game for the men taking place is Brian Cullman from Manitoba against Ren Bartu from BC on Ring 5, and then after that it's the gold medal game. We'll have both gold medal games going on at noon, local time. Emma's looking to draw it off, and it's just going to be a little bit too heavy. Not a bad line. Betty's just going to be looking to count 2 to try to get back into this first set. Looking around at the other games, Pauline Wong's up 5-2 over Jenny Sue after 5. Betty's just picked up 2 here. 5-3 after 4. One of the other games looks like Jan Robinson's up 2-1 over Claire Day in the Battle of Alberta. As always, reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter, at BCB Bulls on Twitter, at BCB Official on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you, start up a bit of a conversation. Happy to answer any of your thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns. Big thanks to SportsCanada.tv for use of their equipment throughout the week. It's a huge draw. Great bull from Emma. Just kissed it on its way by. So there's currently no game on rink 4, but there is a game on rink 6. So don't need to be cautious of the one side, but the other you do. I'm just thinking both of their bulls are so wide that they actually enter the other rink at times. Another great shot from Emma. She's lying 2. You can see the 2 blue bulls up at the top. You notice the different strategies as Emma likes to play long jacks. Betty's clearly liking short jack with how far up that jack is right now. And despite that, it looks like Emma's really figured out this length. Wow, fantastic bowls from Emma. Lying 3. One bowl left for each player. Does it have the legs? Not quite. Big opportunity here for Emma. If she could replicate like she did the first 3, she could pick up a 4 here. After delivering, she went and picked up the mat very quickly and is just a little bit heavy. Pretty good head, all things considered. Betty's taking out 2 right away, taking out a 3rd, and taking a look at that 4th one. Not quite sure if that was 3 or 4. Regardless, that's a decent sized lead for Emma. That was a 4. (9-3) after 5. 6-point game with 4 ends to go in this first set. Big thanks to George Cubis and all the umpires for umpiring throughout the week. They've done a fantastic job. It's a great opening bowl from Emma. Clearly she likes the short end here now. Shaping up to be a very good first couple bowls here. Great head starting. This is going to be close again. Great bowl from Emma. That's a great effort from Betty. Emma's looking to replicate her first two bowls. Very, very tight head here. Have to be very precise, and she's close again. Looking to grab the jack as she goes through. That's another good bowl. Don't know if Betty likes to play weight, but she does have best back already. It's quite the cluster. And she just asked if she can come down and take a look, so she's going to go and take a look at it. Kind of surprised that Betty's playing that hand. I would have thought she would have played weight on the other hand into that cluster, try to get some jack movement. She just missed her bowl to give that a rollover. One bowl left for each to come. Emma's using her fingers to see what's what. I think Emma was intentionally throwing a bit of a back pull here to try to get some safety, some position. Quite happy to be laying 2 or 3 or whatever the count is up there. Smart move. Did Betty send it? It's diving quickly, not quite. taking a good hard look at this.
I still had a chance to catch him on the last. I had 3 seconds. And then I
Gonna
hit
put a
his
tape to
pole,
it.
but then I pushed mine out of the net. Otherwise,
So both Emma and Betty competed at the North American Challenge together down in California about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. Emma told us last game that the artificial down in California was slightly slower than the surface is. Another go around with the measure. So they've already taken 1 out, so it's for sure 1 to Emma, and they're measuring for 2 right now. Generally speaking, when there's an umpire available, this is probably why you would use one. So they've already kicked out another, so it's just a measure between 2 bowls now instead of 3. And they've called for an umpire. Must be close. George is going back and forth a few times here. Jenny Sue is just taking the lead 8-6 over Pauline Wong. And Claire Day's got a 4-2 lead over Jan Robinson. Claire picked up the first set already. Must be very, very close. I think George said that it's the blue bowl, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, it was the blue bowl, so that was 2 to Emma. So that's now 11-3. Three ends to go. 8-point game. Very short jack. Apologies that our camera is not going to be able to see too much of that. a great ball from Betty. I don't think Emma liked that ball. Just tapping her leg pretty quickly. She is a little superstitious. She was telling me last game as she was commentating with me that she likes to tap the back of her hat before delivering her bowl. Looks like she's a little heavy on this, just going around to the back.
Talking about this game. You want me to join you?
Sure, sure. We got the legendary Vince Mai hopping on the mics.
Hello, hello, hello. Greetings from Pacific Indoor in Vancouver.
How you doing, Vince?
Thank you. And Jake has been working very hard and just looking at, setting up all those things, sits there all day. And it's not an easy job. It looks like easy when you're looking at it, but actually it's very hard.
It makes for a long day, that's for sure. But
Right.
got some good bowls in front of us here. Betty's put together a nice little string. She's lying 2, maybe even 3 right now with her red bowls, and Emma's coming in with her blue one to try to change that. I think she's just a little bit heavy, but picked up the jack on her way through.
Right here we got 2 players here, and Emma is one of our future star for Team Canada, doing very well for the last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he has played international matches. Betty is the all-time bowler from Manitoba,
Mm-hmm.
a well-known player, many championship that he had won in the Canadian sector.
That's right. Yeah, Betty's won
Right.
many championships.
Yes.
With that Manitoba Force team, that's been doing very well. Whether it's fours, triples, pairs,
Mhm.
won quite a few.
And Betty was given an opportunity to play international this year.
That's right. Both these players were at the North American Challenge last week, 2 weeks
Right.
ago.
And I can see that it's quite a bit of improvement from Betty.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is it's kind of a difficult for somebody's player from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And I can use the word unfair. Till now, because Emma is local,
Mm-hmm.
lives in Tawasin, he's experienced a lot of this type of, how should I use the word, on carpet surface.
Yes, she's played
Right?
here
On
a
the
fair bit.
carpet surface, she played here before. Her movement is just very good. Meaning, if you look at his delivery, his forehand delivery, very smooth,
Mhm.
well delivered, well positioned, and the rhythm is excellent. So even though he missed, but he just missed the green. Okay? And Betty is slightly different. He's still using an outdoor type of a delivery. Most of his delivery is released from his upper body and
Mhm.
use a lot of hands. Trying to use the word, if you use the golf term, he's trying to steer the shot.
Right. Right.
Right. That's what suddenly the consistency wasn't there. Right? This is what happened. In the singles, on the indoor singles type of matches, the consistency is very important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Consistency is very important because both of these players, they are not an aggressive type of a player. So a lot of time they says I don't have a back ball, and then so suddenly the back ball doesn't come into play a lot. You notice most of the women players, even though the men's player, we're trying to draw second shot. Why are you drawing second shot? In the first place, because you make 3 mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're trying to recover the mistake, right? A lot of these players play aggressively. 9 out of 10, they fail. It's not that they don't have the ability to play. It's the surface is just slightly different than they get used to it.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
simple.
Yep,
Right.
that's very true.
And then a lot of the people, as soon as they're trying to make a running shot or something, they scrap the carpet. So the ball is releasing out of the hand. Is absolutely wonderful. You got four balls lined up together like a wall. They still miss the whole thing. Jake, you can probably notice that a lot of
Yeah,
time they
yeah.
do that, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If you're in an outdoor, would be just absolutely you hit it easy,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, playing on this surface, it's very different. So you have to make sure you have a very smooth delivery, very consistent delivery. Otherwise,
Right.
it's
So
going to be very obvious.
you look at Emma's delivery. It's very smooth. Forehand stays down, legs bend, goes up. Rhythm is very good. Timing just not that good. Not that good meaning he pushes it at the last minute. So the ball is going to glide by about 3 feet.
Yeah, about 3 feet.
Yes. Look at Betty. He just used his hands. Just, how should I use the word? Maybe
Yeah, a bit of a push.
incorrectly, just like, I'm not going to say bad things about Betty, and he just chucks it out. If you look at the motion, right? And then there's a good chuck.
And got shot out of it.
Right, he got shot out of it. So here's Emma again. Nice smooth delivery. Okay, he stops. So this ball is going to be a little bit short because his weight wasn't going through. Watch. Not bad. Right?
Yeah,
It's
only
going to be short.
6 to 8 inches short.
Right. So Betty's here again. Betty's a very experienced player. He's played this game for many, many years. Emma is kind of from our juniors sector. He's a little bit. He's a good player, up and coming star, but he's still a little bit of how should I use the word? Lack of experience, competition experience. You know, you have to play lots of bowls to get into this. How should it?
To
Jake,
get
you
the
like to say,
experience. Yeah,
to get the experience. What to do with your son bowls? Good thing they give everybody 4 bowls,
Yep. Yep.
right? So you watch. Okay. What happened if you see the delivery? You kind of jump off and go into the side instead of walking the line. So here's Betty again. Okay. Good. Nice smooth delivery. Weight is half decent good. Right? And then just
Just a little bit narrow.
yeah. Okay, normally in this type of game, all right, if you watch international players, they'll be intended to play the backhand, trying to hit the first or the second red ball. Make sure his ball is into it, into the head.
Right.
So he's playing the forehand, which is away from the head,
Hmm.
right? Once you miss, you miss. Oh, here's a great ball.
Great ball from Emma there. Wow.
Great ball. You know, if you play the backhand, right, you take it slightly narrow, either you can push
Hmm.
the blue ball in with a little bit of follow through, or if you get lucky, you hit the red ball, those 2 balls will be released out of the head without moving the jet. See, if you look at the score, it's 12 to 3. I think it's time to gamble a bit.
Yep.
This is what I see.
Yep. Time
Right.
to do something different.
Right?
Absolutely.
Something to do something different.
Absolutely.
Because one shot, it doesn't do you any good,
Yeah. Exactly.
right? We just want to see how confident is Betty going to play this ball.
She is on her backhand now, like you called.
Right.
But I think
Oh,
she's
this-
just looking to draw.
Right. Slightly too wide. This is not a draw weight. It's kind of going through about 7 feet or 8 feet. But he just played it slightly too wide.
Fair enough. So that'll be another 2 to Emma, which would make it
Right.
14-3 with
14-3.
1 end left in this set.
Lots of times, you know, each individual player plays a different style.
Mhm.
It all depends by the coaching experience
Hmm.
passed to them from a certain coaches, right? Some players plays different, some players plays different, But towards the end of it, the technical part is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
Absolutely.
the delivery. It doesn't matter what kind of a delivery you have, but it's got to be that way. It's got to be that way.
It's got to be consistent. Got to be
Yeah,
the same time and
because
time again.
right, because of the rhythm and the timing. You
Rhythm and
lose,
timing. Yeah.
I play a lot of balls. Sometimes I was leading by 15 shots.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I lose my timing.
Hmm. And then,
Right? Guess what?
And
They're all coming to jack high. It's just like the sports station TSN.
Mm-hmm.
The sun ends at they have a turning point.
Yep.
Right? It's not that the person play bad to have the turning point. It's for some reason, your hands doesn't synchronize with your legs anymore. The hands is out, the body is still there, or the body is out, the hands are still holding into the ball.
Right. Right.
Right?
Got to be synchronized. Got to have that timing
Right.
fluid.
See,
and
Emma is very
consistent.
good. She's very good at this length. Right? And lots of times in the indoor carpet, the balls they use are very important too.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the UK players, how
Yep.
should I use the word English players? British Isle players, they like to use a bending ball, more of a strong finish ball
Right.
than the Australians. The Australian, New Zealand, the Southern Hemisphere players like to use a narrow ball, lighter finish ball. It all depends on the individual, which ball they can control the better. I walk around and look at it today. A lot of these players are using a lot of oversized balls.
Yep.
Meaning, some of these players, they use the size 4. Some players use this, a couple of players use the size 5.
Mm-hmm.
But size 5 balls are kind of, these days of age, is kind of
Way too big.
you know,
Don't
it's
need
not
them.
way too big. It's kind of a, you know,
A fluke.
how should be like out of play anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even some of the best player in the world, a good friend of mine, Jeremy Henry, look at his size. He used a size 4.
Mhm.
Many times he used a size 3. I says, the balls in his hands, it's just like little marbles. But the way he controlled it, it's just easier to control.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible, right? The footprints on the balls are any bigger. So they have exceptionally roll to the ball, like this ball. Look at how well this ball rolls out, right? Rolls out about 10 feet without even trying. Just the body weight from the back to the front. See, Betty stands still, goes forward. It's a very good delivery. You may have a good result. Towards the end of it, he pulled his hand a little bit, so the ball is going to come right in to the head.
Might have just given shot away. Looks like it's probably a couple there.
It's
for
kind of
them.
hard to see.
Mhm.
We have to have a, how should I say, overhead camera for
Overhead
this.
camera, yeah, that's right.
This. It's difficult to set up for an overhead camera.
Yeah,
We hope somebody will come here and donate an overhead camera for us. Overhead camera with a sensor.
Yes, so that way you can operate it remotely and
Yeah.
zoom in and out and pan side to side.
No, with a sensor, I've seen some. The overhead camera with a sensor. Whatever anything moves on the carpet, the camera will follow it
Yep. Yep.
because there's a movement on the carpet,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Emma is really smart. He's keep on playing the length that he likes, which is about slightly shorter than 3/4 length, around 80 feet. Good delivery again. Comes in, make the ball works. Well released ball. It's going to travel about 3 feet through. See, Jake, one of the things about this indoor, once you release the ball properly, the ball will run slightly longer because the momentum of the bias will carry it on. So lots of the player which plays balls, they check the ball this way, they check the ball the other way. They have their own thinking, a lot of palms weight instead of the finger weight.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the ball will never come in. And then they say, "Ah, these balls are no good." See, Emma's good. A
That's a good
fine,
adjustment.
yeah, a fine adjustment. He slow his back foot down,
Mm-hmm.
so his body is kind of really synchronized, which is the rhythm are really good towards the head. Same as Betty. Betty did not go it forward, so Betty is using a strong finish ball, so the ball comes out slightly on the outer bias instead of the inner bias.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball doesn't run properly according to the manufacturer's suggested bias. A lot of times, Jake, we look at this Henselite, Taylor's, all the major manufacturer, they show you a chart.
Yep.
You have to understand the chart is built based on the free rolling ball.
Yep.
It's not based on the person who's using it.
Right. Right.
And then some balls, I sell a lot of balls. Some balls I sell it to somebody. He calls me back and says, "Vince, this ball doesn't bend." But I look at the chart. These are the widest balls they have. Can you help me out? You know, my saying that to that is very simple. Find your club coach. They can probably enhance you.
Yep.
And get a coach,
Yep.
right? They can enhance you how your balls release out of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the very important things, especially on the faster service, and with a carpet type of a texture. How should I use it? The ground's texture.
Yep.
So lots of our players from northern hemisphere go down to the southern hemisphere. They couldn't play. They have never seen the grass like that before. You go into a different environment. It's same thing like golf. Some designer on the golf course, not too many people can handle. Plus, there's a whole bunch of people can likes that type of design. It's very similar to that.
One ball left here for Betty. We'll see if she can replicate what she did with her last. Holding one.
Jake, what do you think by walking down to the head? What do you think about this method by walking down to the head?
I think a lot of times it's not necessary, but sometimes it is warranted. I would almost say it does better for the player to sort of clear your head and actually doubly make sure of the shot that you're going to play, more so than actually seeing what the head looks like. It does slow the game down quite a bit by having people go down there, but for some people it does really make a difference.
I've seen lots of great players in my life. I can name a few. They never walk and look at what is wrong with the head with a free draw, unless four of those balls are casted really close together. Okay, I think I'm not saying bad things or anything. You just throw a ball, right? The next ball delivered. You memorize on your muscles. You just stood there because the next ball is going to be out in less than 10 seconds.
Yep.
Right? It says the green is 14 seconds. On the short length, the green is only run out to about, 9 seconds.
Yep.
If you go by length,
Yep.
you could have whacked for 9 seconds and pick up your ball because you just thrown one 9 seconds ago.
Yep.
And keep on throwing the same thing, doing the same thing, that ball will get close. Many times I kind of disagree, walk all the way down, and by the time you go back, you have to restart the whole procedure again.
Yep, I agree with that. There's so many times where you just sort of lose your muscle memory and forget what you just threw because it's now been 35 seconds, 40 seconds, however long it's been since the last time you threw your ball.
I don't know, but this is my feeling
Yeah,
towards it.
I
You
agree
know what I'm
100%.
saying? Yeah. My feeling towards it is, each individual's player is coached by different coaches, different style of coaches. This is what it ended up. See Emma kind of a little bit push on this ball.
Emma has her grandma, aunt, and England watching, and other family members too.
Oh,
so
good. Hello, Grandma.
Getting a little bit of international exposure here.
Good, good. See? What happened to the ball becomes short because it pushes it. When it pushes it, the ball has been released from the middle of his hands.
Middle of the hand and not the fingertips.
Yeah, so the fingers will give you, provided you the extra top spin on it.
Hmm.
If you try to put something, if you're at home, you're trying to put something, put your other hands on it, you see how it rolls out, and this one, it kind of
Just sort of stops. Yeah.
right? This is what the technical part on finishing. Nobody beats all the Aussies on finishing. And New Zealanders, they just got a beautiful finishing.
Mhm.
See how they deliver a ball? Because they kind of this one area is much better. See how he finished? The hands is all straight. And then goes towards the line. The ball will finish, will run, running towards the target. This is what I mean.
Follow through is key.
Right. So in our age, when you're a senior, we don't have to follow through anymore. We just have to just chuck it out there and hope for the best.
See what happens.
Yeah. Betty's got a really good balls here. So keep on, for some reason, for Betty, for the last few deliveries, he keep on twisting his hand and pitching on it.
It's very important to have a straight hand with your follow through. Going to the same restaurant tonight that we did for the past 4 nights straight.
Yeah, no, David, our starter, David Anderson, just come by and talked to Jake.
Yeah, said we're
And
going to Cascade.
Yeah,
And
they're
say-
going to the same restaurant. As if like Vancouver's run out of restaurant. There's no more restaurant in Vancouver.
Going to the same place for the past 4 nights in a row.
Right.
Clearly he likes that place, but
Another great ball play by Emma.
it's a much better head than some of the ones that we saw earlier.
Mhm.
All the balls are
All the balls
relatively
are
close.
delivered really well. So I said, this is a good deliver on balls. Very good delivery. It's actually just slightly underweight.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the picture of it, all right, his last foot, inside hip, how should I use the word? Inside hip muscle,
Mm-hmm.
just pushes it. This is what the ball is very hard for you to stop the ball. Meaning his hand is faster than his body.
Mm.
That's what happened. When your hands is faster than your body, the thing is not going to stop.
Right.
So it's very good. Everything is all good for this Canadian Championship till now. There'll be more games coming up.
Yeah, one
And,
more round robin tomorrow
right.
morning at 9 a.m. and then we're into the medal rounds.
Yes, very good. And thank you very much for all. And it's very, very good. Okay.
Very happy to be here. Thanks for
Thank
hopping
you.
on, Vince.
Bye.
So Emma's already taken one out and we'll be looking to measure for 2. It is, but it is what it is. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. So currently 3-2 for Betty Van Wellingham over Emma Boyd, heading into end number 3. Emma's currently lying 2. Fairly loose head here again. And that's a similar bowl out there. Still coming up about 6 feet short. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter at BCB Bowls on Twitter and at BCB Official on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Both players are really struggling with this length area. They can't quite figure it out. It's a patch of 3 in front and a patch of 3 behind. Just struggling to get that perfect length. I think Emma's going to be right back into this patch of 3 at the back here. That is shot itself. Last bowl for Betty to try to cut it down to 1 or 2 or even draw shot itself. She's in the ballpark. In the neighborhood. Shot drawn. I believe that would be 1 to Betty. Might put a tape to it. Yep. Emma's already out, quickly down. One more day left of the 2018 Canadian Indoor Singles Championships. It looks like it's 1 blue for Emma, which is our last national championship of the year. I'll tie it up at 3. And not surprisingly, Emma's got the mat on the tee. She told me last game that she doesn't really like to bring the mat up too much, likes to sort of keep it there and then vary jack length. It's a bit of a shorter jack. And once again, Emma is on her forehand. And coming up a little bit short. Just 2 games left going on here. This one on the TV rink and further on down between Jenny Sue and Pauline Wong. Jenny Sue is up 6-1 in the second set after 4 ends, and Jenny did win the first set as well. Emma's looking to just beat her first and just sort of crashed onto it. That was slightly better weight. Katie Patnode saying, love the live stream at the indoors today. Woke up with a cold, so it was great to relax and watch some great bowls. Nice to have you with us, Katie Patnode. All the way from Ontario, Peterborough area. Good shot there from Betty. That I don't think that's going to be good enough for shot. Good weight though. Much better line from Emma, but she's up to the weight. Just crossed the center line. Seems as though both players are really struggling to be able to just get that perfect touch. Very consistent pulls there from Betty. Emma's going to come down and take a look. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter, at BCB Bowls on Twitter and at BCB Official on Facebook. This is the last game of the day, so after this we'll be all done until tomorrow, 9 a.m. local time for the men's round. And then 12 p.m. local time for the gold medal games. We'll be having both gold medal games going on at the same time. So Emma's made up her mind here to just try to draw down again. In the ballpark. That shot itself. All tied up 3-3 after 3. Betty's last bowl here. Big chance to be able to take the lead. All in the weight here. Very close. Beautiful bowl. And Emma's taken one out for sure. Taking a look, it could even be two. Lots of measuring going on this game. A lot of close heads. So that was in fact two for Betty. 5-3 after 4. Both players are sort of favoring that short to medium length jack right about now, which is interesting because before the game Emma was saying that she liked to play long ends, so clearly this game that's not entirely true. Betty's drawing around 2 dots behind the jack, so that's about 6 feet. Great line, just the weight. You'll notice that Betty took a much wider line than Emma did. She has a wider drawing bowl. That's a pretty good bowl from Emma, just a mat length through. This could be a much closer bowl from Betty. Just coming up about 2 feet short. That's a bit of a whoops from Emma. I'm sure she'd wish she could have that back. No mulligans and bowls. Both players favoring that hand, though. As we've seen all week, that the other side is a bit wider of a draw, a bit more of a swoop. This looks like a pretty good bowl here from Betty. Just about the same as her last one. Still just that 2.5 feet short. Not phasing Emma, though. Still just going to try to draw around. Could be in the ballpark if she's there. Not sure if it has the legs. Needs to get by that front bowl. Not quite. Needed another foot or so, I think. But now it's forcing Betty to sort of reconsider things here, having a second guess, and still going to stick with that forehand, which is, I think, the right call. Easy to draw around. I think she might have upped a little bit of weight compared to her last two, which is good. Maybe a little too much weight, though. Now, instead of being 2 feet short, she's 3 feet through. Just all about the weight control. Need to find that perfect weight. Last bowl coming up here from Emma. Don't think Emma likes it. Body language says it's not great. Just got it a little bit too wide. Wouldn't be surprised if they put a measure to this one too. Yeah, Betty's already fished out the measure and is ready to go. So this is the final round-robin game for the women. And Emma's sitting at 6 wins, 2 losses. Looking to get the win here to see if she can get into the gold medal game. And Betty Van Wallingham is 4-4. I'm not sure if it's possible for her to get her way into the bronze medal match at this point. So 5-4 for Betty over Emma after 5 ends of play. One-point game with 4 ends to go in the second set. I took a few steps down after it. Not sure if she likes it or not. Bit narrow. Waits within a mat length or so. Couple feet. And Betty's also coming up short. Over on that other rink, Jenny Sue is up 11-1 over Pauline Wong. And that is shot drawn by Emma. It's a very wide bowl from Betty. I'm not sure if that's going to come back in time. Came back quite a ways. Emma took almost the same line as Betty, but Betty has the wider drawing bowl, so I'm not sure if that'll actually come back in time. Tried. Betty's turned around and picked up her bowl right away, so I don't think she liked this. Very wide open head here. Just need to find that perfect line and weight combo. And I think Emma's grabbed the jack on her way through. Should be good for 2 blue, I think, right now. Betty's hard after it. Betty's hard after it with her last bowl. Coming up clutch here. Shot drawn. Great shot. Three ends to go, 2-point game in the second set. So Betty's got the mat exactly 1 dot ahead of the tee, whereas Emma likes to have it on the tee, so it's only about a 3-foot difference for mat placement. And similar to Emma, short to medium length. Jack. Big thanks to George Cubis and all the umpires for all the hard work they're doing. Markers have been doing a great job as well here at the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club in Vancouver, British Columbia. Pretty good opening bowl here from Betty. We refer to mat length quite a bit. As I was about to say, Betty's is just outside of a mat length, just because that's a good way to gauge how close you are. Anything within a mat length is considered a pretty good bowl. Part of the reason for that is that a mat length, great shot from Emma there, a mat length is roughly 1 revolution of a bowl, which means that you're about 1 revolution away from being perfect. So that's a pretty good gauge of how close you are, which, you know, in this game you can't always be perfect, so being close is okay. We'll see if Emma can replicate her first, and she's not far away. Yep, that's 2 good blue bowls. Betty's hard after it. This is going to be close. Grabbing the jack on her way through or the port. Ooh, she found the hole. Great effort. Emma's going to chase this ball down. Needs to bend hard. It's trying. It should be 3 good blue shots. Betty's last bullet. She's not even... Yeah, she is going to come down and take a look. I was just going to say, she was ready to roll and decided, no, I should probably come down and take a look, see what the damage is. Because it looks like it's 3 for Emma right now, although Betty does have 2 bowls passed, so she could trail for 3. (6-4) in the game, so Betty has a 2-shot lead. Definitely doesn't want to give up 3 because that would give up the lead. I think she has to play a similar shot to her last. It was just more than a draw, maybe a foot past. Try to grab the white on your way through, or rest against one of Emma's bowls just to cut it down. Could even flop in for shot as well. So not much more than draw weight. That looks tight and light to me. Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to be doing on your last bowl, so big chance here for Emma to get 4 and to not only take the lead, but to get a 2-point lead. Into her pre-shot routine and ready to go. All in the weight. I think she might have added just a little bit, but found a friend, which helped. 4 very good blue bulls there, all within a mat length. And kicking them in yet, just a clear indication of 4. So after 7 ends, 8-6 for Emma. 2-point game, 2 ends to go. It's interesting that both players are playing almost the same length. Normally, when you're playing a singles match, you favor something different than your opponent, so you'll change the mat, change the jack, play shorter or longer. But both players are doing almost the exact same thing here, which is kind of interesting. Both players with their first coming up a little bit short and a little bit narrow. Very similar roll here from Emma. Pretty consistent. That's a pretty good caterpillar. Caterpillar, of course, being a drill where you try to replicate the exact same shot with all 4 bowls, so if they're placed perfectly, it sort of looks like a caterpillar when you have all 4 bowls touching. And Emma's, again, right in there. Those are 3 very similar bowls, almost the exact same bowl 3 times in a row. Betty's hard after it here. Just sailing through the port. That's a hard finishing bowl. Emma's last bowl. We'll see if she can replicate the same thing with all four. Took a slightly wider line and added a little bit of weight, and that's a beautiful shot. It's looking like 4 blue bowls right now. Betty's going to come down and take a look. So this is the second last end. And Betty can't afford to give up more than 2 here. If she gives up 2, Emma gets to 10. 4-point lead going into the last end means the best Betty could do would be tie, and she needs to win this set to force a tiebreak. So Betty, the most she can do is give up 1 to keep herself alive. She's throwing weight at this. Interesting. Haven't seen her throw weight all game. And that stayed pretty straight, didn't come in, so that's gonna be 4 to Emma, and that will be the game, although they will have to play this last end just for the sake of plus minus, as points will make a difference for tie breaks. There's 2, there's 3, and it is all 4. So it's 12-6 going into the last end of the second set here. Emma will take the win, but points may matter here, especially for Emma, given that she was 6-2, she'll now be 7-2, and there could be a bit of a cluster up at the top of the standings, so you want to score as many points as you can to help your shot differential in case there are ties. And to find out how the tie-breaking procedure works, head over to bowlscanada.com. Under the Championship tab is a button for conditions of play, and you can read all about our conditions of play in that document. That's a great opening bowl from Emma. Just kissed it. I would have to think that confidence might be a thing now that she knows that she's got the win under her belt. Sort of riding on cloud 9 right now. About 3.5 feet short compared to her first. This looks like a good bowl coming in here from Emma. That's a beautiful bowl. Makes a bit of a target now, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Betty throws a little bit of aggressive weight at this to change it up. Push a bowl, grab the jack. Now that she has 2 back bowls. Definitely want to change something up. playing with that same weight, but just got outside a little wide. Up to the weight even. So she was definitely going for jack or bull there to try to drag it back. And Emma switching hands now to try to get some coverage back behind. And Emma just drew to the tee. It's a really good bowl. Last bowl of the game as Betty rolls it down. That is a much tighter line, but I think she's a little too tight and is going to fly through the hole. So that will be another couple for Emma to help her plus minus overall. Final score should be 14-6, maybe even 15-6, depending on the measure. So that is the game, last game of the day. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. local time with the last round of the men's round robin, and then gold medal matches at noon.